My name is Gaurav. I have total experience of 8.2 now in IT industry, all in quality analyst. So in my current company, uh, I'm working with Fulcrum Digital right now. I'm working in internal R&D project. So I'll give my description of current company in two stages. Like the first project which I worked was a banking and financial domain project. It was a UK-based payment company, SaltPay. I was working over there for 1 year, but in December that project got wrapped up and went to the client onto their home ground. And now currently I'm working internal R&D testing team. So working in robot framework right now for 3 months. My overall other experience was Selenium Java. So if you, I would like to elaborate about my roles and responsibility. Like I'm a individual contributor. We have 3 to 4 QAs. All are individual contributor. We have one common lead, which is a technical lead for not only for QAs but also for developers as well. So since this is internal R&D team, we develop internal components for the internal clients of Fulcrum Digital, and whatever testing services uh, the developer develop, so we test it with robot framework with manual testing, and whatever the test output is that we share with our leadership, which is a part of our R&D team. If any brainstorming session or any inputs required for more optimization, we also extend that as well. So that is the current role and responsibility. But in the previous project, I was working with the client. I was a lead for two people. One resource was over here, one was with the client side. So I was a complete API automation tester, like API automation tester to them. But since that was a payment company, they used to have uh, terminal machines like card swipe machine. So for them, they were using Android system. So for 2 months, they also extended APM automation testing with that particular terminal testing as well.
Okay.
Uh, yeah.
And let's talk about the framework you have used. What
Okay. So
what frameworks was it? And
it was
what was
Serenity framework.
okay, okay. Good.
It was a Serenity framework. So basically, the project was started when I joined like few months back. Uh, Initially, they were in R&D, like which framework and tools supposed to be decided. But when until I joined, it was already decided, and they started with Serenity framework. So I would say why Serenity, because client was more enthusiastic about the data, and Serenity has a very beautiful reports if we compare with the data and elaboration uh, with all stack trace error and everything. Since they were not only BAs, they were also technical people who were more interested in all this stuff. So the client extended with Serenity framework. We started with that. Uh, we were executing script, developing script. Everything was in progress as per the stages. There were 4 quarters, and for every quarter, new APIs were integrating with the existing one. So that's how we used to do it.
Okay. So what about the components of your framework? What all components did you had in your framework?
Okay, so we were having since it's rest assured services. We were having rest assured. We were using Java uh, on top of that, and like it's a BDD BDD Cucumber format. So we were using all the Jerkin based syntax for the scenario and in step definitions, whatever logics we want, we used to apply it accordingly.
Okay, so haven't you worked on TestNG driven or Maven driven frameworks in the past?
Uh, in the past, I have done it, but didn't develop the framework from scratch. It was already available, and we used to maintain it. The script.
Okay. And the current framework which you are using, have you created it from scratch or
The
you?
current framework in Robot, I have created it from scratch.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so
Um, sure.
yeah, so my question is, I mean, why you are choosing robot framework instead of
It's
the
not
traditional? Okay.
okay.
Uh-huh.
It's not my choice. It
Uh-huh.
is internal R&D client choice.
Uh-huh.
Uh, the same question I have asked to my leadership. Like
Okay.
I am a Selenium Java person.
Uh-huh.
I am not having any knowledge of robot, but they told me like take a 15 days learning curve. And I
Mm-hmm.
start with robot because client explicitly want robot because all his testing components and stuff, whatever the people have done
Got
it,
it. Got it.
they did it in robot.
Got it. I
So
mean,
they don't want to
got
differentiate.
it. Got it. So right now you are working on robot, and previously you have worked on some other framework like hybrid and something like that. I mean, where you were
Correct.
using Java, and right now you are using Python, correct?
Okay, so in robot framework for API testing, we don't need Python 100%. We
I
need
know,
to
I know, I
install
know,
Python
I
in
I
machine.
know, I
Yeah,
know, I know,
yeah,
I know. That's why
yeah,
I'm asking.
yeah.
I mean, so I mean,
No.
if you need to update two things in robot framework, as you know both the framework, like what are the advantages in the traditional framework
Mhm.
that I mean most of the companies are using and you are using robot. So what are the two things that you do not like about robot framework?
Okay, uh, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah,
Uh,
obviously
since
that's what I want.
I'm at a very beginner level, I
Mm-hmm.
feel that the online communities are very limited for the support. Uh,
Okay.
uh, whenever I search for any solution,
Mm-hmm.
I always see the solution is some sort of outdated or very less informative.
Apart from that,
Uh,
apart from that.
uh, Apart from that, it's like a keyword driven. You can't debug things. For
Correct.
debugging also
Yeah,
you need
yeah. I mean
to make multiple configurations.
that's what I
So
want to hear. Like, I mean, debugging is
uh,
very difficult in the robot.
very difficult.
Yeah.
So the
Now
reason
I
it's
got my answer.
difficult because
I got
Python.
my answer.
Yeah.
I got. So okay. So now, uh, if you are to send something in report, suppose you are working hybrid framework and you need to send some detail in your report. What
Mhm.
all things you will be using?
Okay. So there is one thing which we were using in past framework. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so log is something which we use, logger.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
uh, One of our senior, he has already implemented that logic.
Mm-hmm.
So if we want to log very explicit thing into our report, for example, after registration, whatever stuff that guy has registered with, might be his admin, he is with
Got it.
customer,
Got it.
he
What
so
if logger is
he can
not
log.
available? Log4j is not available. What if? Then
Okay. Uh, mm, there are listeners actually, uh,
uh,
but we have implemented logger, so
could you
I
please
mean I
just
know that, but
name that listener which we use for in reporting purpose?
mm, we use mostly iTest listener
So
in
what is
that
that?
on start.
iTest
Uh,
listener is an interface
it has multiple
abstraction.
inter.
What is that?
Uh, uh,
Class. What is that listener? It's an interface. It's a class. It's an abstract class or some other thing like block or what is that? Listeners.
uh, it's a, I think it's a class. It
Okay.
has we can implement multiple
Got it.
methods.
Got it.
I mean,
Got it. Got it. Got it. Okay.
actually there is some glitch. I can hear you. Is it from my end or your? I
Um,
don't know.
I can hear him properly. Can you just take off your headphones if that is okay?
Uh,
Yeah, adjust your
I can.
headphone maybe. Maybe adjusting your headphone will. Now it is audible or
yeah, it's audible.
okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually I can hear you, but there was some other background voice as well. That's
Okay. Maybe there's some background noises. Okay, no problem. Yeah, Prank, go ahead.
So can you share your screen, Gaurav?
yeah, sure. Yes. Is it visible?
Yep. Open a new tab.
Tab. Okay.
Go to Amazon.in
Mhm.
and just search Boat headphones. Just Just anything, both headphones.
Okay.
Yeah, search it.
Okay.
Now at the top left corner, there is written 1 of 16
Mm-hmm.
of 216 results. And there is a
Okay.
use case which says that there should you need to validate this 16.
Okay.
Then how would you do that through automation script?
Uh, I'm just repeating the question for
Mhm.
for my understanding. So as per the use case, I need after searching, I should get this one of 16. Correct?
Yes. But you
Okay.
need to validate there are 16 search results also.
Okay. Yeah.
So it should not happen that there it is written 1 is to 16 and in the search result you are getting 50, maybe 20. So that should match.
Okay. So definitely as a standard practice, I'll open this website. I'll search for this by hitting on this search bar. Once I get in over here, uh, it's in one of 16. So all this must be stored with one common element. I need
Yeah.
to check the size of that element. It should be 16. If it is not 16, less or more, then the validation fails accordingly.
Can you try and write the XPath also?
Yeah, I'll give out a try.
What are you looking at? I mean, what is your approach?
Okay, so it should support 16 elements or 16 search results. So my
Correct.
approach is like all 16 records should have one common element. Uh, on that basis, we can figure it out whether it has 16 or it's more than that.
Correct. Okay.
Because the result specifies one of 16, like 1 to 16. Apart from 216, now we can only display 1 to 16 if I click on next 2, 3, 4 buttons,
Correct.
whichever. So we have to search it in that way.
Okay. Sure. Um, Abhishek, you have next question.
Yeah. Uh, just open the comment section. I mean, I have pinged you one question. Yes. Just it is getting loaded. Just open it. Okay. So here you can see there are two tables. T1 which contains the header and T2 which contains the data. Correct. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
here the important things like both the things are in different table. T1 or T2.
Okay.
Okay. I mean usually you
Okay.
used to get I mean everything in the same table and then you can do. But what used to happen when I refresh the page, it used to happen sometimes the column A becomes column B and B becomes column A, and the next refresh become column A, go back to the last, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and the respective data of like if column A shifted to the right
Second.
at
Right.
each
Okay.
place, E place, then X and
Okay.
Y also align to that.
Go
Okay,
according to that.
yeah.
Okay.
So how will you identify if I need to get the value of buy? Okay, right now as you can see the dimension of buy is like 1 comma 0 if I take I mean
Okay.
consider I mean below table. So if
Mm-hmm.
you need to get the x path of to get the value of this cell, then what will you write?
Okay.
Normally
There
when
is
you
one.
normally when you write x path, I mean if the table is static then there is no problem, you can I mean hard coded that and or index it, you can use indexing to get the well, but
Correct.
right now what is happening when you refresh,
It is changing.
yeah, it I mean dynamically changes its position.
Correct. Okay. There is one approach I can think of.
Yeah.
We had a similar experience in past. So
Okay.
there is normalized space we use. I mean, at that time I used normalized space
Mm-hmm.
because if I can see in this table y is unique. It's not duplicated. There is no other value like y. So normalized space, whatever the value is, and the tag probably tr or td, it would be the same because
Mm-hmm.
it will change in that table. It will not go outside the table. So I'll go till the table in bracket normalize space
Mm-hmm.
equal to y. If I get if I put normalize space dot y,
Mm-hmm.
it will scan the whole table. Where is
Okay.
y?
Okay.
And wherever it finds the y, since
Uh,
it's unique, I can put
okay.
like
Since it
get
is, I
value and
mean,
I'll send it.
for uniqueness, I mean, I even do not write the normalized thing. Okay, and directly do that. Okay. But
Okay.
what if there could be multiple by, but I want a
Mhm.
the content of that cell which comes under a header. I want some specific thing like whatever I mean when I go to the header A and the row number 2 that contains the cell by. Got my got the thing?
Yeah, yeah, I got your question. I
Yes.
got your question.
So
Like we should iterate or pass according to the A.
yes, that is the thing.
Uh, Actually, never faced such challenge. Always got one common table. Like since
Yeah, yeah. I mean
T1
that's
is different and T2 is
correct.
different.
Right now, first of all,
Something.
let me give you some hint. Right now, you need to get
Mhm.
the index of any header, and on the basis of that index, you can get the corresponding value of that header.
Corresponding value
Yeah.
of that.
So how you will
Correct.
get the index? That is my concern.
Okay, so uh, every header has tr, uh, like row. Everything has a value.
Hmm.
We can iterate using some for loop.
Hmm.
Like we'll get all the stuff and we'll iterate in for loop,
Hmm.
uh, like until and unless
Hmm.
this gets its value a.
Hmm.
If it satisfies a,
Hmm.
then we should go below this. I'm trying to tell
Yeah,
my
yeah,
approach.
just
So
yeah. Hmm.
A, B, C, D, E. My
Hmm.
for loop started as
Hmm.
per the question. A
Hmm.
went over here.
Okay.
So it will
Hmm.
check A is not there,
Hmm.
left it. B,
Hmm.
A is not there. It will come over here.
Okay.
Okay, so A is here.
Hmm.
Now A is here. Under that for condition,
Hmm.
we have to write if else condition.
Okay.
And
But
under this, we
hmm.
check
Hmm.
that what is the value of y. And if value, y is available, we should get it value and break the loop. Simple.
Okay. But in this condition, whatever you are thinking, this will not work because let me tell you,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
when you get the index, that is
Mm-hmm.
related to your first table. But if I need to go to the second table, I need to use that index.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So, what all challenges or what all exception you have ever faced in Selenium?
uh, like element not displayed, slate, timeout exception. Timeout in my first company, first project, we used to face a lot because it was the server was connected to
Hmm.
the client side. So if anything went wrong over there,
Hmm.
we are gone. Not
Okay.
only automation script, but
Hmm.
manual process also used to be very slow after some time.
Okay.
So that is something which we faced a lot. And when I was working with Book My Show, initially, uh, whenever there was a mass release, at that time all servers were typically utilized not only with production but also in sandbox for their load and performance testing because we were having a dedicated team over there. So at that time also it was not available.
So
And
you are
and
talking.
finding the experts, sorry,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
finding the experts and stuff. So yeah, whenever a new CR used to come, uh, sometimes front end developers make some incorrect coding for looks and feel they make it correct way, but for adding particular identifier, the following standards was established by other developers. If some things was missed, then we used to raise a bug and we
Got
used
it,
to
got it, got it.
told them, yeah.
So, what is the exception that we used to get when we use implicit wait, and what is for explicit wait?
Okay, uh, so it has like two different things. Implicit wait, oh, I'm waiting for that element. I'm not checking whether it is displayed, it is enabled, nothing. I'm
Correct.
just waiting.
Uh,
In the DOM, it's getting displayed, yes or no.
uh
If it is not displayed, timeout exception
Okay.
because it only allocated to that time.
Okay.
Uh, in explicit condition, we are adding a condition to it
Uh-huh.
first. So if that condition is satisfied, only then it will move forward. If not, then after that, the timeout exception, or if it is not at all loaded in DOM as per its properties, that exception will also occur.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Prank, go ahead.
I think we've got only 2 minutes left.
Yeah, we can.
Uh,
We can extend some minutes. No problem.
okay.
No need to ask to any. Okay. Yeah.
Uh, yes. So in APM, got any experience in the mobile automation?
A very little, I can say, but yeah, I do have.
Okay. So what all capabilities do we use for mobile automation while creating the driver?
Operating system, the device name, uh, our version of APK, uh, all this stuff, and I guess there are some one or more uh, operating system name as well. So there are 4 to 5 components we have to use as a capabilities to set up and start your Android devices for the
Okay.
testing. Like it's a prerequisite.
Okay. And what about when we create a web driver? What all capabilities, what all capabilities would you want in your driver?
Uh, okay, so if we are explicitly using, like, majorly I've got a chance to work with Firefox and Chrome only.
Mhm.
Internet Explorer we never adapted because
Okay.
Edge was launched when we started. So, uh, until and unless if you feel any proxy settings or certificates. So in Deloitte, we were having some certificate issues. So that certificate configurations was already established in desired capabilities for Firefox and as well for Chrome.
So have you faced that issue within the team? Like there are 5 members in the team, and all of them have got a different version of Chrome. So
Yeah. Uh,
how do you manage
uh,
that?
okay. So we faced that issue only in Book My Show, not in Deloitte. The reason I'm telling you why,
Mhm.
because the system was extended in such a way that there was no auto updates. There was no auto updates in Deloitte. They were smart enough. Like the framework team was next gen, so they were smart enough. They have already configured. They have given all the prerequisite documents. So we never faced that issue over there. In Book My Show, I would say not uh, the version issue. It's the operating system issue. I was using Mac. My version was different. The guy was other using Windows. His Chrome version was very different. So it was altogether a different stuff. So to avoid that,
Correct.
so we to avoid that, our framework architect he explicitly mentioned that always follow this version for your execution and make sure you disabled your updates. The admin guy used to do that since they were having that permissions. But yeah, we used to follow that. But yeah, it happened. I mean, it's not like not happened. It happened, but it's not
Is
because of
that
different
the
version.
is this the right solution to keep to disable the
Uh,
update and
Actually, it is not. But what I have observed and read, I would like to extend you that. So
Mhm.
whenever the Chrome updates any new version, it's not necessary Selenium or other stable version will immediately get compatible with it. Because when, if you observe, like Chrome has launched 10th version now, but the support system dot library file or exe support file for Selenium, they have launched it as a beta or I can say a normal version, but not stable version. So
okay.
instead of clashing all that stuff, we should wait for some stable version, and once we know that yeah it's stable, then we can update. That's a good practice.
So
Um,
did you know the difference between the version 3 and version 4 Selenium?
Uh, I didn't got a chance to work with fourth version, but yeah,
Okay.
I have read some information like
Mm-hmm.
in Selenium Grid, it is much more advanced now.
Mm-hmm.
Finding the XPath above, below, all this extra options are available,
Mm-hmm.
and it's also like much faster and compatible with other things as well. I mean, I've never got a chance because when Selenium 4 was released, I was in Fulcrum and started with API. Oh, sorry, API. So never got a chance.
Okay. So
um, uh, uh, Abhishek, I have
mm-hmm.
one question again to ask.
Yeah.
So if we were in that example where we have 5 team members, everybody had different Chrome versions, and we are stuck at the same question, right? Now imagine there are the team size is 50, and everybody works in different location, different time zones. Communication is hard. How to handle that big team? So what is the solution? Can you just share your screen and find for a solution on Google? Like what would you search?
Okay.
Share your screen once.
So there is one hack I can tell you, maybe
Mhm.
since you asked me. Okay, if there is no Chrome, I have decided that you guys want to test manually or need to check anything, you can use Firefox, but don't install Chrome on your system because whatever version exe file we will pass it in our script, that would be the version available for Chrome execution. If I set that permanently in my script, it should be 50 or more than 50 people. Only that version will get executed. Correct? It will not look for other versions.
Uh, since you used Book My Show, you've worked on Book My Show. So can you
Yeah,
restrict your end user to use any particular version because they can use any version they want, right? So
yeah.
how would you enable that my automation script would run on any Chrome version? My driver should be compatible enough to run on any Chrome version. How would you do that? I'm asking you to search this on Google and give me the answer.
There is one thing very quickly I can tell. If I always update myself with latest version, of course it is always compatible with back versions as well. So no
Mhm.
matter if the user is using any previous version, older version, of course it will be compatible. But I need to keep a practice like every time if there is a new version, update every time with that new version and pass
Okay.
it
Now,
to the host as well.
out of my 50 testers, 25 have stopped, I mean, disabled their update, and 25 work on the latest version. Now, what will happen?
It will work because even though they disable the updates, the latest version is compatible with older version as well. Like consider 11 and 10.
Okay.
So till today we were using 10. Tomorrow 25 people has disabled their update and rest 25 got the new update. I got the information that new update is available in the market now. I updated it with 11th version. But
Okay.
since 11th is after 10, it will compatible with older versions as well.
Backward
And
compatibility, you mean.
yeah,
Okay. Do you have any experience on database DB related?
uh, actually, very less I can say because only in first company I was having a database access. Book My Show they don't give database access. In Senecron, it was
even
there.
for the even for the QA environments, non-prod environments, they
Uh,
don't give.
uh, Book My Show you go in any module they don't provide
Okay,
database
no
access.
problem. Anyway, and in so since you mentioned there's a very less experience you've got in the DB, so can you write me a query? So if there is a table which has got list of employees and
Mhm.
their salaries. So like salary A employee A has got 10,000, B has got 25,000, C has got 2,000.
Okay.
So these are the two columns. My employee, say this employee as a primary key for this table, and I want to know the salary of, so which employee has got the maximum salary.
Okay. Employee and salary are two different tables, correct?
Employee and salary are columns of a single table.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. And you want to know the employee who is having high max salary.
Correct.
I mean, there is a option for max. It will validate the complete salary column, and
Mhm.
whichever is the maximum, it will
Okay.
display for the employee.
And what if
Can
what if
see.
I want to get the salary of the employee name who's got the second highest salary?
Okay, so max minus one we can do it. Apart from that, sometimes we can also sort with ascending and descending. If I do it by descending, two or top three, so one and two will get displayed accordingly.
Okay. Um, Abhishek, do you have any other questions?
Yes. So, uh, Gaurav, consider a situation. Uh,
Sorry to interrupt. I have only 5 minutes because I have other meeting. So can we wrap it up till
okay,
45
sure,
if
sure.
possible?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, suppose you are working on a module and you found that there are some impact on other module. Okay. And you
Mm-hmm.
got a user
Mm-hmm.
story which going to be impacted on other one.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Mm-hmm.
how will you identify those modules? Like, what are.
Okay. I mean, as a QA practice, we always have to follow two things while doing any kind of change request testing, whether it has impact on other or existing
Mm-hmm,
components, yes or no.
mm-hmm.
And if it is hampering, we should follow the practice of integration testing.
Okay.
Like after integrating, I'll tell you a very simple example
Mm,
for a better explanation. I'm having, I'm holding a watch company, and I can show only 5 countries clocks: India, Asia, like India, USA, Japan, China,
mm,
and Sri Lanka.
mm,
You are my client. You came to me and you will tell me like, Gaurav, I want uh, a new watch, but it
mm,
should have the existing as well as 5 new European clocks as well.
mm,
So I said, okay, I'll add it, not a problem. In
mm.
that case, I need to check whether after adding the new timelines, it should not hamper my existing system. So I'll also check the existing system before integration and after integration.
Okay.
So after integrating the new code,
Okay.
whether whether it is working in the same line, yes or no.
Mm-hmm,
Because if we are putting any new code change or new functionality into the system,
mm-hmm.
the existing system should not impact eventually at any point. It
That,
should work as it is.
that is my question. Existing, I
Yes,
know the definition, like existing system should not be impacted. But
correct.
how will I identify the existing system? I know I am only
Hmm.
concentrating on if I need to do component testing, I will be testing my own module. But
Hmm.
sometimes I'm a developer, even developer is not sure that whether the other module is going to be impacted or not. But as a QA, I have this intuition that some other module might impact, because as a QA we need to test as a whole. So how,
Correct.
what are the steps that you will be taking to identify the module that will be impacting by this change?
Okay. Regression testing is something which is a common practice we all follow. After integration testing, regression testing is something I'll check. But as a QA, if I get a gut feel that
Mm-hmm.
after changes, this new change might impact any other component.
Mm-hmm.
If that component falls under me, I'll check it. If
Mm-hmm.
not, whoever is the concerned person, I'll connect with him, take a idea and check it thoroughly, like whether it's hampering yes or no. While testing this, I'll look with the checklist of happy path or the ongoing current path, whether it is working correctly, yes or no. If it is hampering or changing or showing any unrealistic data, that I need to check. If I'm having a database access, I
Mm-hmm.
need to check all the values are getting displayed correctly into the database, yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if I'm making any modifications that are getting correctly reflected, yes or no. And of course, the negative scenarios, it should not happen. The positives are working fine, but if I'm making any unrealistic changes or unwanted inputs, then
Mm-hmm.
it is also accepting that. I mean, I can say
Got it, got it,
the
got it.
cover, yeah, it should not
Got it,
hamper. So
got it.
we need to check it like
Yeah,
that.
so I am done. And Priyank,
Very quickly, any questions for us, Gaurav? Because we already,
Yeah, I do have only two questions. First, I would like to know about the roles and responsibility and the company if I get selected. And second one is like you guys have any feedback for me, please do let me
Good. Uh, Let me just answer the first question.
know.
So we are looking for a mid-aged experience QC member in our team who can
Mhm.
work on mobile and web and WAP. WAP is like opening the browser on mobile.
Mobile, yeah.
So that is one thing. Apart from this, the resource should have good knowledge on the API front, the database front, and
Mhm.
some bit knowledge about the app analytics.
Okay,
So
okay,
that is what we are looking for. Um, and the product name is Money Control. I'm not sure whether you're using Money Control in your personal thing or not. So we test Money Control, um,
okay,
and the web and the mobile app both. We are looking for that.
okay,
So Money Control
okay.
is a child company of Network 18, and Network 18 is
Okay.
a child company of Reliance.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
that is how the
Hierarchy.
the hierarchy of products are.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
And one quick feedback about yourself. If a question is being asked, then try to give the answer. I mean, if it is a one-word answer, then give that one word. You don't have to stretch
Okay,
uh,
okay,
into words. If something needs to be explained, then you can explain with more words. But otherwise, if there are direct questions, then you can just answer them directly.
okay,
You're
okay,
just revolving around the thing and just coming back to the same point where the answer we have not got the answer yet. So try and
okay.
avoid that. That's one quick thing as a friend I'm giving you.
Yeah, yeah,
Abhishek, you have
definitely.
anything else?
Nothing. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, sure. So our HR team would get back to you, Gaurav, and
Okay,
we'll see. All the best,
okay.
and
Thank you so much.
I'm just join the other meeting as soon as possible.
Okay,
Okay.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.